We know that getting to this point was a little bit tricky. I don't think Rafa wanted the fight at first. You talked about maybe fighting Dominic at some point. So there was a bit of a negotiation getting this far, right? So just tell me a little bit more about that process of just getting this matchup here on Saturday.
First of all, we always asked the UFC the fight that was going to put me on the top, fight for the belt. Yeah. And I asked for Cruz. I didn't have him. And then Rafael was a rematch that was very interesting for me. I think was a good fight to have it. He's in a streak. I'm in a streak. So let's go Saturday night and see who's going to be next for the title.
This is a rematch, we know. And I know the first time it wasn't the way that you wanted. First of all, you're a finisher, so you like to finish fights, and then it was the loss. But how much do you were in there with him for the entire duration of the fight? So how much do you take away from that going into this one? How much were you able to learn from that fight to take into this one?
Oh, I learned a lot, you know. And Rafael's a good fighter, and he beat a lot of guys. He's in a good record in the UFC. But I'm a good fighter as well. And Saturday night, I know I'm going to be the best fighter out there. I train hard, and I want to go in there and get my victory.
Do you make it sort of, I don't know if personal, but like, do you take it up on yourself to make this an emphatic win since you weren't able to get the win the first time around?
I'm a competitor, you know. I want to win, and I lost. So I want revenge, and I want to win this time.
When we talk about, I think everybody's just really viewing this as a #1 contender fight. Dana White has said that this is the #1 contender fight. So I would assume going into this one that you expect the next title challenger to come out of it?
Yeah, we always think about the next, but I'm worried about Saturday night, you know, going there and be the best in what I train. I have a lot of respect for my opponent. He's a tough fighter, and I have to be ready for this fight and thinking about this fight.
And speaking of this fight, like you said, Rafa is a very tough guy to beat, and it shows on his record, right? He doesn't lose a lot. What do you think that makes him such a difficult guy to really counter? Like, he's a tricky opponent. Why do you think that is?
A lot of people say about him, but he's good, you know. He's a good fighter. This is the main thing. He's a good fighter. That's it.
And you did talk about not doing the type of performance that you wanted the first time you fought him, right? How do you go into this one? Like, what do you think that's going to happen?
I think it was just the first fight, you know. I got no excuses, but I think I can do way better this time.
Why do you think that is? Maybe the UFC debut, just preparation? Like, why do you think the first fight you weren't able to really showcase everything that all of your capabilities?
I think I'm better now, you know. And not just thinking about that fight, about how was my performance, just thinking about how I am now. And I think now I'm a way better fighter.
And obviously you're focused on the task at hand, but we have discussed a little bit about the situation in your division, right? Up there it's a little bit tricky, just navigating, and then now with De La Shaw going down and the possibility of Cejudo maybe going up. So how do you view that situation atop the bantamweight division, and is it at all frustrating for you as somebody who's like making your way up there, just like not knowing what your next step is going to be?
To be honest with you, I'm not worried about that right now. I'm worried about my fight, but I'm there, you know. It doesn't matter. If I have to keep fighting, I'm going to keep fighting. I know I'm good. I know I can beat a lot of guys, and let's see what happens.
And fighting in Brazil, like, does it have special value for you at all? Like, I know that it changes for some fighters. Getting the home the crowd on their side is a good thing, but then there's a little bit of extra pressure. How do you feel about this fight at home?
No, I love Brazil. I'm happy to be here. That's my country. That's my blood. And I'm very happy to go out there on the cage Saturday night and represent all Brazilians.
Fighting the main event, does that make you extra excited about this one?
I think fight is a fight, you know. That's going to be a fight, and I'm happy to be there.